Alright, welcome back. My name is Andrew, and this is part 2 of my video entitled Fortune Favors the Bold. Now, I originally hadn't planned on doing a part 2, but I felt that after reviewing the episode that I ended the video on an incomplete thought. So I decided to come back and redo the end portion of that video. I know there's nothing spectacular about this gameplay except it proves a point that I'm going to be making another video about TDM needing to be a longer game mode, and kill confirmed as well, that it needs to be a pure killing game mode. But I digress. Anyways, going back to on topic, what I was discussing was content sharing in the YouTube community. Now, there's the concept that I wanted to bring out was that in television there's a lot of shows over the years that have been about lawyers or about solving crimes or about love, friends, whatever, and they all exist. They're all similar, but they each add a unique element to the particular genre, the particular type of whatever show it is. So on YouTube, even though there's not a lot of ideas you could come up with about video games. I mean, some people come up with original content, and that's good when they do that. Now, if someone else comes out with something similar, that's not to say that they copied in a negative manner that other person's content. Now, what happened with the situation that I was discussing was a YouTuber named iFlyIllini. He accused another YouTuber named Raw Instinct of stealing his ideas slash corroborative ventures with between the two. And then he also pointed out that Raw Instinct directly copies another YouTuber named TmarTn, that his exact videos are almost identical, and that his thumbnails are almost exactly created the same way. So he brought up a lot of valid arguments. Now, I think that in this instance, what we're talking about is not creative sharing, but plagiarism. And there is a fine line for YouTubers regarding sharing a good idea and direct plagiarism. Now, I'm going to use another analogy here. If you create music and you want to share that music on YouTube, there is a way, or even in a commercial or something, there is a way you can use music freely, and that is to use a license called the Creative Commons license. It enables you to dictate what the license of your content is, so you can say you can use this music freely, you can change it, you can monetize it however you want, or you can put stipulations on it. You can say you can't modify it, or you can't commercialize it, and so I think that enables people to share their content without necessarily having to get paid for their content. There's also an academic analogy, but I kind of lost it, where you share things academically. You can help someone out on a project or something like that. And as long as they don't take full credit for it, and still cite you, then it's allowed. But if they try and pass it off as their own content, then you're running into a situation where that's stealing an idea, plagiarism. So in essence, to sum up, what I'm trying to say is, even if you're using a similar idea to someone else, make what you're doing unique. Make it your own content. Don't try and pass off someone else's work, direct work, as your own work. So if you're, you got an idea from something, if you knowingly or using someone else's series idea, for example, let's say you're doing the random Moab generator series, or you're doing a challenge series, you can cite where you got the idea from in your first video or in the description or something. And so if anybody else says, hey, you're copying this person, say, no, I got the idea from this other person to do this series, and I'm adding my own creative spin onto this content. But if you go out and you start saying, no, I created this myself, then I think that's where someone can call you on the carpet and say, no, you actually stole the idea, and not stole, but you plagiarized somebody else's work, and trying to pass it off as your own work. So for young channels, particularly, like if you have an idea that you've come up with, and all of a sudden you find out that somebody else came up with the same idea, it's a little bit different. But if you want to try and replicate a series idea that somebody else had, that isn't necessarily plagiarism. The prime example of that, which everybody can do, is a Road to Commander series. A lot of people do them. If you're doing a Road to Commander for Black Ops 2, or you're stealing that idea from the original guy who came up with it, which I believe was XCal, I'm not entirely accurate on that, you could say, this series was inspired by this guy, but no one can come out and say, well, you stole that idea, because it's not a thing, in my opinion, that is stealable. It is something that enables the community to have creativity, because in each Road to Commander, that series will be different for each commentator, because the games are different, what you're talking about is different, everything is different. It's just that the series idea is similar. It's just like, in my opinion, just like a crime drama. There's a lot of them out there, but each of them are unique. So thanks for watching, and post up in the comments, let me know what you thought of this episode, leave me a rating, and I will catch you next time. If you have any questions or comments, leave them and I'll get back to you. See you next time.